Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss regarding the topic Betty-Neuman system theory. So we'll see how this theory developed. We'll go this topic one by one. First, we'll go through the history and the background of the theories, then evolutions of theory, inferences of developing this theory, the conceptual models, assumptions of our theory, then concept of Neumann theory, nursing process which were given by the Neumann theory. First, we'll see regarding the introductions, how she developed this theory. So the Betty-Neuman system models or the Betty-Neuman system theory was developed by Betty Neumann in the year 1970 in the Universities of California, Los Angeles. Then the goal of this theory or model was to provide a holistic overview of the physiological, psychological, sociocultural, and developmental aspect of human being. So this models was developed by the Dr. Neumann in order to teach an introductory nursing course to nursing students. So we'll see her background. So she was born in the year 1924 in Lowell, Ohio, United States. Her father was a farmer who became sick and died at the age of 36. And also even her mother was a self-educated midwife. She was influenced by the care which was given to her father and took the career as a nursing. Then she received registered nurse diploma from People's Hospital School of Nursing, Akron, Ohio. Then later on she started working as a hospital nurse, head nurse, then clinical instructors, and he even completed in the year 1957 BSc Nursing and finished her MSc in Mental Health Public Health Consultations from University of California at Los Angeles in 1966. Then he is also received she also received as a pioneer in the community mental health movement in the late 1960s. Then she used to be a lecturer in the community health nursing at University of California, Los Angeles. Then in the year 1972, she published this model as a model of teaching total person approach to patient's problem in nursing research. Then she also finished her PhD in clinical psychology in 1985 and also received second honorary doctorate from Grand Valley State University, Michigan in 1998. Then evolutions of theory. Okay, so how she developed this theory? So mainly her theory is based on the the persons or the individuals relationship to the stressors and how the individual responds to it, then reconstitution factors that are progressive in nature, that is the stability, how they cope up with that situations. Then she considered that the client systems as a holistic, broad, and system-based method to nursing, which maintain a factor of flexibility. Then she also focused the response of the patient system to actual or potential environment stressors and the maintenance of client system through stability by providing primary, secondary, and tertiary nursing preventions in order to reduce these stressors. So we'll see some inferences. So Neumann, what happened is that she inquired theories from several theories and philosophers, and she applied her knowledge in clinical and teaching expertise, okay, to come up with a Neumann system model. So she have taken some idea from these philosophers or the theories. That is from Perry, Telhurty, Jardin's Gestalt theory, general adaptation syndromes, and general system theory. So from here she took some inspirations. Then how she started developing these conceptual models. So in this conceptual model, she considered the client as a system, as an open system in which the stressors response to a in which the stress responds to a stressor in the environment at any time. Then Neuman also provides a way of looking at the domain of nursing. Then she even focused the client as a client system, environment, and nursing aspect of nursing domain. So we'll see how this model, according to her, what she wants to say. Okay, so Neumann system model. In this, she considered client system as a all these structures, that is the flexible line of defense, then normal line of defense, line of resistance, then basic structures, energy resources. So this client system is considered of this uh, three line structures and basic structures. So basic structures means the client vital organs which constitutes the genetic structures, even the normal body temperatures, ego, and the organ strength and weakness. This, according to her theory, she considered these are the vital structures. Then, which is protected by the line of resistance. Then, first, she considered as a flexible line of defense, that is the line in which the stressor is going to react to it. And this line have a capability to defend from these stressors. And they are going to defend it. Then, if the person is not capable to respond from this line, then they will start invading the stressors to the normal line of defense. This normal line of defense denotes the health states of an individual. Then, if the person is not able to respond or defend from that stressors, the stressors may enter the line of resistance. So automatically, when they start invading the normal line of defense, they will try to protect, they will try to activate the line of resistance in order to protect from the basic core structures. So when the stressors started entering from the flexible line of defense to the normal line of defense, there will be a reactions. So that these reactions will cause whether to cope up the situations or not to cope up that situations or the stress. Okay, so in these three lines, they have a variables, what to say, 5 variables, which commonly they are going to come across. That 5 variables are psychological, physiological, sociocultural, developmental, and spiritual variables, okay, according to Neumann theory. So we'll see here. The Neumann system models view the client as an open system. Why is this considering as an open system? Because the stressors may come at any time and invade the line of flexible line of system. Then the client variables which is present in each lines are physiological, psychological, sociocultural, developmental, and spiritual. Okay, so inside the plant systems, the vital structures or the core structures is protected by the line of resistance. Then after that, there will be normal line of defense which define the health state of an individual and which is protected by the normal line, flexible line of defense. Then so many stretchers will come and invade the flexible line of defense. So according to Neumann theory, he defined 3 types of stressor, that is the intra, inter, and extra personal. So intra means what? Within the structure itself, within the boundary itself, the stressors may come up. Then inter means from the outside. Then intrapersonal means it started developing the stressors from outside the individuals. That is, let's take an example, financial circumstances. Then, when the stressors break through the flexible line of defense, the system is embedded and the line of resistance are activated and describe the state of wellness and illness continuum. Then, if the person have an adequate energy to fight against those stressors, they will move to a healthy state. If the person don't have enough strength or energy, they will move to a illness state. That is according to our Neuman theory. Then, so according to her theory, she have given 3 prevention modalities. So what are those things? First is a primary preventions before the stress invade the flexible line of defense. They are going to take precautions. So that is the primary prevention. Secondary preventions means what? The stressors already start invading. Either it may be came across the normal line of defense. That is the secondary prevention. They are going to take some preventive measures in order to prevent from that. Then either it may be treatment, either it may be some screening we are going to develop. And tertiary preventions means what? Here occurs after as reconstitutions means what? The person is able to cope up the situations. We are going to provide this tertiary preventions. So here we'll see in brief that how she explained regarding this client system. So in this client systems, we already know that it consists of flexible line of defense, normal line of defense, and line of resistance, which protected the basic core structures. Then its line have a 5 variables, that is physiological, psychological, sociocultural, developmental, and spirituals. Then flexible line of defense, what is that? This protect the normal line of defense. Then they are going to, this flexible line of defense, what they used to do is they protect the structure, stressors, and expand away from the normal line of defense. Then if the flexible line of defense can rapidly alter over a relatively short time of period, they can defend for a short time of period. Then later on it will come to the normal line of defense. So what is my normal line of defense? Normal line of defense represents when the client has become over time or usual state of wellness. So when they start embedding this normal line of defense, there will be degree of reactions in order to cope up that stress. Then line of resistance. When the stressors started invading the normal line of defense, the line of resistance will be activated. Okay, and also it protect the basic core structures. So line of resistance activate when following invasions of the normal line of defense by environmental stresses. When the line of resistance are ineffective, energy depletions and death occurs. Okay. So that is according to her Neuman theory. Then basic stressors, what it includes? In the basic structures, it includes the vital organs. According to Neuman theories, what it includes there is the genetic structures, then normal body temperatures, and even the egos. And not only that, even the organ strength and weakness. Those are the basic stressors according to the Neuman. Then 5 client variables. She even identified 5 client variables which are present in all the lines. Then which are not lines, which are present in the client system. Okay, so physiological means what? It refers to the bodily structures and functions. Then psychological means refers to mental process and relationship. That is psychological. Then sociocultural related with the social and cultural functions. Developmental refers to life developmental process. Then spiritual refers to the spiritual belief influences. So let's take an example in physiological. What we can say is that the functions of the body, that is the fever, pain, vomiting, and pregnancy related with the physiological. Then let's come to the psychologicals. Examples are loss of employment, then money problems, then being scolded by your teachers. Those are the examples of psychological. Then socioculturals related are the marital disagreement, then dysfunctional relationship, then change of culture. Then let's come to the spirituals. It's changes of religions, that may be the example. Then developmental, physical changes of aging, marriage, beginning of the school, that may be the developmental. Then Stephen used some sub-concepts in her theory. So what was that? So even stressors is also again divided into three types. Stressors are nothing; they are the environmental forces that may alter the client system stability. Okay, so it is divided into three types: intrapersonal, interpersonal, and extrapersonal. Okay, so it's intrapersonal means what? The type of the stress in which occurs within the individuals itself. Then interpersonal means it occurs between one or more individuals. Okay, then intrapersonal stressors means what? It occurs outside the individuals. Okay, so that is the type of the stressors according to the Neuman. Then she even defined the term stability. So we'll see what is that. Stability means what? When a client or a system successfully cope with stressors in order to maintain an adequate level of health. Okay, so that is called a stability. Then degree of reactions means what? When the stressors started invading the what to say flexible line of defense. After that, the normal line of defense. So the amount of systems instability occurs. That is the degree of the reactions. Then Stephen defined two terms, that is entropy and misentropy. Entropy means what? If the person is not able to cope up that situations, and later on there will be process of energy depletions that leads to a person's move toward the death or illness. That is called entropy. Then misentropy means what? When a person's energy conservations move to a higher degree of wellness, that is called misentropy. Then Stephen used the term input and output. Input and output means nothing, but there will be exchanging of the energy inside the system to the outside the system. So here what is saying that between the client and the environment that is entering or leaving the system at any point of time. Then reconstitutions means what? In her theory, reconstitutions means maintaining the stability following the treatment of the stressors reactions, which may result in higher or lower level of wellness. These reconstitutions take place in the tertiary preventions, in the nursing interventions. She even gives some assumptions. So we'll see the first assumptions according to her theory. So she considered that the client is a unique and they have a composite factors and characteristics within the basic structures. Then, okay, so there are many, what to say, known and unknown universal stressors present outside the client, what to say, client system. So they differ in its potential for disturbing a client user stability level, or not only that, the normal line of defense. Then stressors may be both universals and known. Okay, so they have a potential to disturb this equilibrium by changing in the priority of need at any given moment. Then, okay, the system with whatever patient's system, according to her theory, they are interrelationship of the four variables. Okay, then its client have a normal range of response in order to protect from the stresses or from the environment. Okay, that response is referred to as a normal line of defense in order to protect from the stresses. Then, so this normal line of defense denotes the health deviations and any health deviations from our body. Let's take an example. If there is any wound injury in our body, there will be the WBC cells is multiplying into the number of the WBC count will be increases in order to protect from the microorganisms or let's say antigens. So that is a normal line of defense. Then when the flexible line of defense is no longer capable, the client will move toward the stressors will move toward the normal line of defense. That is our assumption, 6 assumptions. Then she even described regarding the primary prevention, secondary preventions, and tertiary preventions. So according to her theory, she assumed that primary preventions means what? Before the stressors come in contact with the flexible line of defense, okay, the nurses need to identify or the need to identify by doing the client assessment, and she will identify what type of stressors, understand, then all those all those histories is going to gather up before they occur. That is a primary prevention. Secondary prevention means what? They are going to treat the symptomatology. All the symptoms will occur in this stage, but they are going to treat that symptoms in order to prevent from the late stage, that is prevent from the illness wellness continuum. Then tertiary prevention means what? Related to the adaptive process, or it is the adjustment, and in order to so that in this stage reconstitutions begins and moves back toward the primary preventions. Okay, these interventions will initiate after the treatment. So this is regarding her assumptions. Then we'll see some major concept of Neuman theories. Okay, there are 4 major concepts according to Neuman theory. First is the persons, second is the environment, health, and nursing. Okay, according to her theory, she defined persons as whole persons that is dynamic and they are really interrelationship with the 5 variables. Okay, then it's 5 variables. According to her theory, she defined that this layer, the specific layers, or the whatever we have discussed, that is the normal line of defense, flexible line of defense, and line of resistance, have 5 variables subsystem. So first is the physiological, second is the psychological, third is the socio-cultural, spirituals, and developmental. Then environment. Okay, according to her theory, she defined 3 types of environment. First is the internal environment, which exists within the client system. Second is the external, outside the client system, created environment in which the client developed, in which an environment that is created unconsciously by the client. Okay, and it's also a symbolic of the system wholeness. Third, we'll see health. Okay, according to her concept, she defined that health is defined as a part and subpart, that is the variable in order to achieve the harmony with the whole of the client. So that is her concept. Then second, she even defined that if the persons have more energy, okay, then they will move toward the state of wellness. If no energy, they will move toward the state of illness. Then nursing, how she defined nursing? According to her concept, she defined that the nursing is to assist an individuals in order to maintain a stability so that the patient will attain a maximum level of wellness by providing nursing interventions in order to reduce that different types of stressors. Okay, then she even defined that when the stressors come and invade, there will be degree of reactions. So in order to prevent from this degree of reactions, she used the term primary, secondary, and tertiary interventions. So that are the concept which was given by the Neuman. Then, even she have described the three stages of nursing process. First is a nursing diagnosis, second is a nursing goal, third is a nursing outcome. So first, nursing diagnosis. Okay, according to her, nursing diagnosis means what? There will be an appropriate database, and it identifies, assess, classifies, and evaluate the dynamic interactions of the defined variable in its layer. Then, variance from the wellness needs and problem are determined by the correlations and constraints through synthesis of the theory and database. Then nursing goals, okay, so they must be negotiated with the patients and take accounts of patients and nurse perceptions of variance from wellness. Then last, nursing outcomes, okay, so nursing intervention use one or more preventive modes in the nursing outcomes. Then confirmations of prescriptive change or reformulations of nursing goals. Then, in her nursing outcomes, she defined in two ways, that is short-term goal and long-term goals, according to the goals which the nurses set. Okay. Then later on, a client outcome validated by doing this nursing process. So that is according to the Neuman. Then the conclusions. The Neumann system model is based on general system theory. Then, and she even views the client an open system that responds to its stressors as to an environment. Then, see, the Neumann system model has been used for over 2 decades, first as a teaching tools and later as a conceptual models to observe and interpret the phenomena of nursing and healthcare globally. So with this, I'd like to conclude the